The first in the nation Iowa caucuses are January 15th, and a new study is shedding light on the attitude towards abortion among voters in Iowa. According to numbers from Pew Research, 52% of adults say abortion should be legal, while 46% say it should be illegal in most cases. For analysis, we turn to Kristi Judkins, Executive Director for Iowa Right to Life. Kristi, great to be with you today. As you just heard, we mentioned the results of that poll regarding abortion. I want to get your take on those numbers and just how big of an issue is abortion to Iowans? Is it a driving force to get them to the polls?
I would say it's one of many issues that would drive Iowa voters to the polls. I think that there are a lot of hidden numbers, maybe not necessarily identified in the poll numbers that we might see. I'm not discounting those poll numbers, but I think the true test will be, caucus night. And, in the events that I go to where I connect with pro-life Iowans and who support Iowa Right to Life, I would say that I feel like there is momentum, and it's something that definitely, particularly those staunch pro-life Iowans, they want to see momentum on pro-life bills and legislation in our state. And I feel like, they also speak to that nationally, and that's potentially how they're going to vote.
Kristi, curious, which GOP candidate do you think best represents the right to life vote, and why?
I guess well, let me just say that our Right to Life is pretty much, we don't endorse one candidate over another. We have put out a voter resource reference, which kind of summarizes every perspective that a candidate that's, kind of campaigning in Iowa has said. I would hate to, as a representative of Iowa Right to Life, considering that we don't endorse candidates, would really hate to say what I would support as far as a presidential candidate. I have heard many of them. I've been in, the audience live, and I would say that the most extreme point of view is going to be the one that I would kind of gravitate towards, but I'm going to go with the candidate that's going to put the most limitations on access to abortion, particularly those elective abortions.
Well, the candidate who really is the front runner right now, who I know will not be in Iowa, is former President Donald Trump. And he appointed several pro-life Supreme Court justices to the court and has often called himself and been referred to by some as the most pro-life president in U.S. history. Yet in a September interview with Meet the Press, he said this. Let's take a listen.
I mean, DeSantis is willing to sign a 5-week and 6-week ban.
Would you support that? You think that goes too far?
I think what he did is a terrible thing and a terrible mistake.
Kristi, what do you think of those comments by the former president? And how does Iowa Right to Life, maybe view the former president?
I want to be very careful because a lot of people that I honor and respect support him. I would say personally that I feel like any person who is on the side of life needs to really educate themselves and understand what we're speaking to with regard to legislation. When you consider that a heartbeat can be detected at the time frame that, Florida and Ron DeSantis has actually put into legislation, and what Iowa wants to do here, we are working to progress a fetal heartbeat bill here in Iowa, which would, once the fetal heartbeat is detected, they call it a ban, but we call it just basically saving the life of that baby because there is a detectable heartbeat, and that's the thing that identifies life versus something that isn't living. And so I would say that I don't really want to comment on Donald Trump per se, because again, a lot of people that I know and respect and Iowa Right to Life doesn't endorse one candidate over the other. But I guess I would just encourage any candidate to really reach out to Iowa Right to Life to gather information on fetal development so they know that when they're talking about an abortion limitation, when those babies can be killed in the womb, that they understand that from the moment of conception, that there is a viable human being there. Viability is always an issue with regard to whether abortion should or shouldn't exist at a certain time frame. Our right to life believes that life begins at conception, and we will fight tooth and nail to make sure that people are educated. And I guess that's all that we're really asking, Iowans to do, those that might be on the fence, reach out to us, we're going to give them information. We're not going to, tell them how they can or cannot vote, but provide that resource so they know what the truth is about fetal development, so they can hopefully have a basis for why they want to vote like they do and support a candidate like they do.
Oh, Kristi, we got to get going. Thank you so much for your insights. We really appreciate it. And thank you for all that you do. God bless.
Thank you. You too.